Happy Thursday, everybody. Happy Thursday. Welcome to Change the Lives. We got an awesome show planned for you guys tonight. Tonight, we're talking about something I think is very important to every parent out there because the impact that each parent has on their particular child. And what I want to discuss with you guys tonight is, are we discouraging our children too often? Are we discouraging our kids too often? Because every parent knows the impact that they have on their kids, right?
Mm-hmm.
And unconsciously, we can say things, do things. We are their biggest supporter most of the time, but also be their biggest detriment. And I want to have a discussion with everybody tonight to discuss that particular subject matter. See people tuning in already. It's calling in, knowing I got a show every Thursday, 8 o'clock. Everybody knows.
Been doing it for 4-5 years.
Everybody knows that.
You're right.
What's going on, Sexy Redbone? Pray for me. What's up, Dominique? Man, brother, I'm sorry, man. My dog Dominique grad school had. I know you had the game tonight. Hope it went well. I apologize. I've been swamped with tax season. Appreciate the invitation, but sorry I couldn't make it out there, man. I meant to reach out to you, but we've been slammed with tax season. See my son Kristen tuned in. See everybody coming in on TikTok. Right now we're streaming live on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, LinkedIn, TikTok, and Twitter. But the main hub is the Change the Lives YouTube channel. I appreciate that, dog. I appreciate it. Hey, man, but next time, please invite me. I don't want to be last time you invite me to something, but I do apologize. And everything.
Right.
And I know everything went well. But again, if you want to call in and add to the conversation, feel free to call in. The call-in number is 678-740-9894. Again, the call-in number is 678-740-9894. And what I also mentioned in regards to the different platforms that we're streaming on, the YouTube channel is the main hub. Where we on the Change Lives YouTube channel, we talk about personal development, parent development, and I give everything from the perspective of being a single Black father. Going there, but definitely go to the Change the Lives hosted by Deonte Burton YouTube channel. If you have to leave the show or come in a certain time, check out the video in its whole entirety and check out all the over 900 videos on the YouTube channel as well.
That's right.
Before we get started, I want to say what's up to my awesome producers, EJ Lab.
What's going on, brother? It's Thursday.
Yes,
the most informative day of the week.
That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about.
One way or the other, you're going to get some information.
It's a smooth night on Misfits Radio and TV.
That's right. That's right. The grown folks night.
There you go. Also, I want to say what's up to my other producer, Sleep 316. What's up, Reek?
Sleep in the building as usual.
Yeah, man. But yeah, man, I want to talk about this particular subject matter. Do parents are we discouraging our kids too often? Because I think a lot of parents, and again, most of the time we become parents, we may have different examples growing up where we look at, our parents or anything, with our parents, how they did certain things, we pull stuff from it. But then we also may have things that we picked up over the years. But
happens that we don't know, we ain't even realize we picked up.
Exactly.
Right.
And we try to, you don't necessarily always get a blueprint with your children, but there are some things I think that we probably put on our kids that we shouldn't put on our kids. And I want to have that discussion with everybody today. Man, before we get started, man, big shout out to Donald Trump.
Chick-fil-A on Martin Luther King.
Yeah.
Passing out chicken sandwiches and
how they get them. We're gonna get those blacks chicken. He's gonna drink a chicken and milkshake.
Right.
I heard that one drunk. I love you, man. Hey Trump, I love you, man. Your cousin.
So they love chicken, don't they?
They
love chicken.
About chicken and milkshakes, and everybody go Trump.
Right. Give them watermelon milkshakes.
They got that.
Yeah.
What the? Hey, boy. Biden better step his game up.
Fried chicken and watermelon milkshakes.
Hey, Biden got to step his game up, man.
That's right. You got to come with it.
Trump done bought some chicken and milkshakes and went right down the west side.
Right on the west side. Got all they votes.
Man, their asses ain't voting. That shit. Their ass ain't voting.
What you say? The one young lady said, I like you because Biden don't know nothing about economics.
His economics. Boy, shout out to y'all, man.
Trump is an ultimate salesman.
Boy, that was funny.
Ultimate salesman.
Hey,
we had somebody on the show last night talking about He this, he's great at that. He did this, and when I said, and all I said was, well, tell me one thing, because I'm trying to tell me one thing that Trump has done for blacks to make our lives better when he was in office. I said, besides HBCU, because y'all love to bring up how he gave money to HBCUs that they still haven't got yet. He's like, no, the HBCU. I said, no. Besides HBCUs, give me one more other thing. Well, the HBCUs, this is important.
Well, I think a lot of times people really just be misinformed on the impact of what the president does or doesn't do, and also probably really most importantly what the local leaders are. But we I want to get back on track.
Yeah.
We're talking about
down that rabbit hole. I'm sorry.
No, you fine. Again, we're talking about are we discouraging our kids too often? And I look back at my childhood. Both of my grandparents raised me, in addition to my mother. But I remember, and I think I shared this story before. I remember just watching my granddad. When I was sitting with my granddad and a couple of his buddies, when the Falcons had just drafted Deion Sanders out of Florida State.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember they had the press conference, he had the Jerry curl, he had the gold chains and everything. They were talking about the amount of money that they were in. What's up, Trey Nicole? Appreciate you tuning in. I remember they were talking about the amount of money that possibly Deion was going to make.
Right.
And I never forgot. My granddad and his partners, they just listening. They were like, man, you can't be getting no nigga that kind of money.
Right.
And I'm sitting there like, well, I'm not sitting there. I'm a kid. I'm sitting in Indian style.
Right.
And, just listen to these older guys.
Uh-huh.
But it was just, this black man
all
could be,
zeros.
Well, not even that he could be paid, that he commanded.
Right.
I want this kind of money.
Uh-huh.
And they were just so stuck on, they ain't got no business paying that man that kind of money.
Right.
And it was amazing. It's amazing to me now.
Right.
But as a kid, you sitting hearing people say that. My granddad and his buddies, they sit around. That's all they did. Sit around, watch the Braves game. What's up, little bitch? My sister tuned in. They would sit around and watch the Braves game, watch the Falcons game. But in fact, they just drafted Deion Sanders.
Okay.
And they were just like they couldn't.
They couldn't
process
it. It wasn't something they could process.
So they couldn't process it. And what stuck with me, but in my mind, and thank God it didn't stick with me, period. And my grandfather was probably the most impactful person I ever had in my life. But it was just a lot of men from that era thought that way.
Right.
But what stuck with me, it was like, you should be asking white folks
for that amount.
For that kind of money.
Right. Be glad.
Yeah.
Be glad they play on their field.
Because when I one of my uncles, I won't be saying be my family, but I'm just sitting there thinking,
But you have to go by your experiences.
I remember when I was in corporate America and I left the railroad, and I was working at one of my uncles had asked me. I ain't gonna mention damn places, but I remember one of my uncles had asked me like, "Pooch, you left railroad?" I'm like, yeah, you got some good money. I said, yeah, but I ain't want good money. I want the white boy money,
right?
Because I couldn't,
right.
Me, man. I'm one of those people, man. I don't argue about money. I get the hell on.
right.
The
bottom line is the bottom line.
Yeah, hey, man. I done walked away from a lot of money before. No, And when I said no, I want that white boy money, my uncle gave me a look like, "What the hell are you talking about?"
Right.
And he knew what I meant.
Right.
But it's like
how dare you?
Yeah, but kind of like you tell you want to custom to somebody.
Right.
Black or even that young sitting there saying like, no, I done bust my ass in school, got all these damn degrees and certification credentials. Like I don't play about that. And I think a lot of times, I think the vast majority of people, no one wants to get taken advantage of or say certain things, but I think the vast majority of people have liabilities, families, mortgages, car notes and stuff. They can't move a certain way. So we do settle or be stuck in a situation where we got to be mistreated,
compromise.
Compromise with doing that. Appreciate that. That was but I ain't never really been in that situation. I've been anybody know me, I get the hell on real quick.
Right.
If I see if I see things aren't fair for me and I can't change the fair.
Right.
But I remember saying that. So when we start talking about discouraging, those are kind of things just in my life, just off the top of my head, where people that were close and influential to me, just seeing that thought process with things, with doing it. And I think a lot of times with parents, again, we're talking about Are we discouraging our kids too often? Guys, feel free to call in. Appreciate everybody tuning in, coming in. But feel free to call in. The call in number 678-740-9894. Again, 678-740-9894. Are we discouraging our kids too often? I think a lot of times parents, in all honesty, we had the best intentions for our children. What happens a lot of times, I think, is that we base a lot of things off of our experiences and our fears, and not necessarily experience and fears, and also probably what we've heard,
right?
We're doing that, and just when you look at kids growing up, you some people will say, I don't want my kid going to college. College ain't for everybody,
right?
Which it ain't, but I think a lot of that comes from you just ain't experienced.
You haven't had a chance to be part of it.
Exactly.
Right.
And then you have some parents that may be educated. The child may be thinking something from a non-traditional pathway, and they're discouraging that because they
want
think
to go
everybody should go to college.
Right.
And a lot of times, and I can just speak for myself, it's very challenging because you may have a pathway that you have mapped out for your child, but your child. Do you remember the scene from The Godfather when Godfather was telling, not the Godfather, the attorney, the Jewish guy.
Yeah, I know.
He was telling Michael Corleone, like, hey, your dad had all this set up for you, had all this set up, and all these things planned for you. And when Michael Corleone said, y'all had all this planned for me?
Right.
Set up for me?
Right.
Like, shit, that ain't what I want to do. Right? Your plan. But think about this. Think about this, Lab. How often of it is that when we set up, we have our children, we want to sit here and have things ready for their future. What's the little trendy thing we were just talking about? Generational wealth. We want to build this, build that. And we really don't know what the hell they're going to be into.
Especially when they get older, of a certain age.
Exactly. I mean, I had to learn the hard way through divorce. Shit, breaking my vision for what I want my children to do and what they want to do, two whole different things.
Yeah.
And a lot of times you don't really experience it unless you are a very involved person. If you ain't giving a damn, it's not gonna be a big thing anyway.
Yeah. My experience, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. My children, with my children, I had, and I'm guilty of having plans for them to do certain things because I went to college. My ex-wife went to college. We all got degrees and letters behind our name and stuff like that. So I figured that was the same pathway that they was gonna go. But none of my children chose to go to college. None of them.
How'd you feel about it?
I was hurt. I was very disappointed.
Gotcha.
Because I set up certain ways for them to go. You know what I'm saying? Because I think a lot of times we discourage them without knowing it because we don't want them to be hurt. You know what I'm saying? We try so hard to shield them from the pain of the world that we don't want them to be hurt. So we discourage them without trying. Like, say if they say, well, I want to play football. We know they can't really play that well. Yeah. We're like, no, you sure you want to try? We discourage them because we don't want them to get on the field. Not hurt physically, but hurt because other kids are going to say, man, you can't play, stuff like that. We try to avoid the pain that the world may cause them. And that's probably why we discourage them from certain things. Well, with my kids, I was like, look, I put them in the military school, went to the military school all 4 years through high school, graduated, and that was it. They were done. And I'm like, look, y'all gonna go to school this way. Y'all gonna go to school that way. You need to go to this school. And I'm planning these things. I'm telling them, we're gonna write these grants. We're gonna get this and that. And they like, nah. No, they ain't say no like that, but the things that they did let me know that that's not what they were planning on doing. You get what I'm saying? Yeah. And
I said a million times, Lab, as parents, we get too much credit when our kids do right. We get too much damn blame when they do wrong. And, some are justifiable, some ain't. And we sit here and lay out these particular things because, normally what we do, like I said, we base it off what we know, what we exposed to. We might talk to a close family member, a friend and stuff, and try to hope we're doing the right thing. But as they get older, now we got outside influences.
Right.
Your daughter meeting a guy, your son meeting a girl. Certain things happen. Like you said before, in regards to, they want to try out for certain things, do certain stuff because of our lack of experience or our personal feelings about sports or certain clubs or whatever, then we might go against it. I remember I never had I never had an interest in it. But I know one of my partners back in the day was in at West Fulton. That was like what 8th, 9th grade. They had the theater club, and we were really joining them because he wanted to get in like the theater club. This bank here,
Right.
this West Fulton, man. Like so, like
Right.
we so damn ignorant
Right.
and everything. But this thing is amazing. Like it's like every thug rapper wants to start their own movie now,
Right.
and
Right.
it's just those kind of things because our perception narrow minded. And I'm just saying, just from a peer perspective,
Right.
I know none of our damn parents encouraged us to do anything.
Right.
We wouldn't get in trouble, getting locked up, selling no dope.
That's all it.
Yeah,
That's
so,
it. That's it.
But a lot of times, parents, when you see the perspective of pushing athletics on certain things.
Mhm.
I went in the military. A lot of time, I had a lot of people. It was very funny. My family wasn't too off with it because mine had one in the military, so I had familiarity. But I didn't really get a lot of support with going into the military. It wasn't like because everybody was, glad and congratulate your kids over going to school and stuff like that. But I already had my game plan. I'm gonna go in there, get my money for school, get out. I mean, I stayed. I've been like that my whole life.
Right.
I stayed focused on my plan. I've been like this when I was a little boy, and went in, got out, stuff like that. And a lot of people that went to school, they didn't stay in there. They didn't whatever. And I want to sit here and just say, it was a reason. Could be several reasons for that, but it wasn't celebrated. And a lot of times people say, "Well, I won't go in the army." That was kind of like I remember when I went in the army. That was kind of what was that time? I think Minister Society came out, and it was Minister Society of Boys in the Hood.
It probably was Boys in the Hood.
Boys in the Hood when Larry Fishburne had the line about army no place for
a black man. Yeah.
And then so I'm hearing all this other from people. Right. And so, it's like, I'm gonna get my GI Bill and VA loan, every damn thing I done damn used to do that. But it just be those kind of things. People were saying stuff that I thought was really effed up and everything. And I didn't, I say this, I don't think most people are as mentally tough as me to sit here and let stuff roll off my back with everything. But I can understand the impact that people close to you, family, friends, especially parents, can have on you. And I just think a lot of times when we start talking about understand that discouragement, parents have to be fully aware of, number one, the reason why they feel the way they feel. Because, me and Chris talked the other day, they're my third son. And, he's at the point he's trying to, shout out to Chris. Chris just came in. I just seen him on Instagram. I don't know if he's still in. But we had a good conversation talking about choosing majors and stuff. Right. And I'm not from the school of thought. Now let me get a disclaimer to anybody, if you're new to the show or new to me. The way I move with my children is just the way I move. I never say my way is the right way. That's the way we've been shaking and baking since they came out their mama. And so I don't tell people like, hey, this is what you need to do. Especially you've been doing it a different way. You just want to change it. I said it, right?
Everybody's way is different.
Exactly. But we was rapping. We were talking about majors. My perspective on choosing college majors is number one, you got what you like. You have what looking at what I think is extremely important. What's the job outlook on that for the next 4 or 5 years, whatever. So, like I don't want you graduating and you can't find that. Right. And now we panicking, or you trying to get them have to get something you don't want. But then also the school you at, do they offer that? Right. Taking those three things in consideration, right? So me and Chris B came, he was back and forth. Not we came to conclusion. He was narrowing it down. He chose film production. I said, okay, I can see that. Being a demand for it, you like making it, you like it. You sure you like it? Yeah. Because he's been doing some stuff from design and been going to a couple plays and shows since he's been in college. He chose that. But I tried to really, really push thinking with my kids. And I know sometimes, it can be a situation where a person can say, when you hear a kid in the college, what do normal people say? What are you majoring in?
What's your major? Yeah.
And when a kid say it, people like, okay, that's good. But when your kid tell you turn around, what's up, my brother? What's going on? Hey, what's happening, Smiley? How you doing, brother? Good to see you.
Say hey to your cousin down Parks over here.
What's up, T?
She said, hey, cuz OJ Simpson passed away.
Yeah, OJ passed. Shout out to OJ and his family. I see my brother Smiley. Me and Smiley was stationed in Fort Lee, Virginia, back in 96, 95, 96 together, man. Appreciate you tuning in, brother. What was I saying, man, about the and my damn brain cramp. No. We were talking about the majors and stuff
Right.
with Chris. Um, I was I'm trying to remember exactly what we went into next. I lost my damn train of thought. Yeah, my lad. What was I
Oh,
saying?
you talking about the majors was Chris and what he chose for film production. And you was telling him that, um, you got to do what if he likes it or not. You was
Yeah,
over there.
we're going through the whole process. If you
Mhm.
liked it or not. But the thing, I'm damn that
I done lost train of thought too.
tactics.
We bad. We
No,
getting older.
no, it's taxi. But here's the deal. No, that's what I'm about to say is that a lot of times I switched over to the core after that. All right, man. That's all I'm for the rings. All right, brother. But listen, man, I really appreciate you tuning in. It's good to see you, man. I don't know if you remember Crespo. Me and Crespo good friends. He was at league with us too, man. He's a Crespo city councilman in Clarksville, Tennessee now.
Mm.
That's one of my but me and him stayed in the Army Movement Station, Germany together. But that was our platoon sergeant, man. Good seeing you, brother. But to go back to the point where I was talking about the school thing, a lot of times parents, you hear when we ask what made you go to, what are you gonna do, and kids will say it. And I ain't the type of person, especially my kids, like you just throw some shit in the air,
Right.
and like, where you get that from?
Right.
Not for a negative scrutiny standpoint,
Right.
but I just want to see if you think.
But understanding,
because you hear people say sometimes like, "Well, I'm going to school for anthropology. I'm going to be a history major. I'm going to do this and do that," and people are like, "Okay, that's good. That's good.
Right,
okay,
right.
whatever." And we do know the vast majority of people don't go to college, right? We do know that, right? And then they may have been, but they don't stay, right? We know the vast majority of the country are not college graduates.
Right. That first 6 months is the hardest part of college. That first 6 months. They say that first 6 months, if you can make it past the first 6 months, you probably can make it further.
Yeah, but check this out. But with that said, my point with that is to actually scrutinize that. Because you have sometimes persons say they want to be a history major, want to do anthropology, and not people say, okay, that's cool. You in school, or they just happy you in school. But then 4 or 5 years later, you can't find a job. Now everybody got negative comments about college. It wasn't the college, it just, and we done that shows about. Y'all can share that, and that's on Change Your Lives on how to help your kids determine what kind of major they're going to have. That's one of the previous videos that we've done before. But I just don't think a lot of times people, scrutinize their children to ask those kind of tough questions. Well, Smiley said, yeah, and I've been looking for him and Dale Jenkins. I ain't seen Jenkins. But if you look up Crespo, man, John Crespo, on he's on TikTok and Facebook, he'll pull up, man. You'll see he still look the same, man. He's one of those good looking Puerto Rican guys ain't never aged, man. But he's doing well, and I'm sure he'd be glad to hear from you, bro. I'm sure he'd be glad to hear from you. But but if you think about it, just having that again, guys, we're talking about are we discouraging our kids too often from a parenting perspective? What's up, Savvy Publicity? Savvy Publicity PR. I book that up every time.
Every time.
Appreciate you tuning in. I don't think parents look at that.
Well, let me ask you a question. When you chose your major, it's like when I chose my major, it wasn't nobody asking me what I chose. Wasn't nobody there to discourage me or encourage me. You get what I'm saying? I kind of chose my major based on the difficulty. Not saying that was easy, on the difficulty of the probability of me getting through it. You get what I'm saying? But when I first started, I was going to be a chemical engineer. Too much math.
Gotcha.
I know me. You get what I'm saying? I know I'm not good with numbers like that. Or when the math starts getting with letters and not numbers, it becomes a problem. So I switched. And I said, okay, I can't be a chemical engineer. I was going to get a psychology. Then they said, well, you got to do residency at the hospital. I said, for psychology, you still got to go to the hospital. I was like, but I did get a bachelor's of science in psychology.
Gotcha.
But my master's degree is in, I said, okay, what is all encompassing? I had to sit back and think about that as a 16-year-old in college. What is all encompassing? What, if they don't need anything else, they're going to probably need this. And I thought business management. You're going to need somebody to manage that business. Yeah. Whatever business is, you're going to need somebody who knows something, a little bit about everything within that business. So I chose business management. So that's how I came, my master's in business administration. Gotcha. I was like, so that's what I was going to do. But I chose something because no knock. We talk about my mom all the time. No knocking that, but she didn't go to college. So she didn't really she wouldn't have been any help anyway. So it was kind of just me throwing stuff in the air to see what stuck, to be honest with you.
Got you.
So I wasn't discouraged or encouraged in any way, shape, form, or fashion. So that's how that worked out.
Let me ask you a question. With that said, like, okay, cool. Do you, because for myself, I didn't have any OGs or anybody, no mentors asking me. Do you think it would have any kind of impact if somebody would have been asking you questions, just like, why are you doing this, that, and that?
I think I would have.
Or do you have any? Did you have anyone in your life that if they would have asked you, they would have made a difference in choosing what you were?
Yeah, I did. I believe I had uncles that was in the Marines, but they was in the Marines. You know what I'm saying? They were away along a lot. They were overseas, but I had my best friend's mom, but she would have asked me. We probably, because she didn't want to help me get my grant.
Yeah. I'm gonna tell you something funny. My man Dominique said, "Damn, fam, he was 16 years old in college." Yeah, Nick, he would do your house. He one of those. Me and Dominique was in grad school together, man. Real sharp brother, man. But yeah. He one of Duke Hauser guys. Yeah.
That's my second year college.
Yeah. So yeah, he graduated high school at 15. Yeah, he one of Duke Hauser types.
But no, I think if my best friend's mom would have sat down and discouraged and talked to me about it, I probably would have changed it or thought about it a little bit deeper than what I did. But I think she didn't want to discourage me. You get what I'm saying? It's already a difficult thing when you're so young trying to go to college and trying to maneuver things by yourself. So I guess she just didn't want to. After a certain point, she kind of stepped away from that process. You get what I'm saying? Because she has her own children.
You know what's funny, lad? You got me thinking. And that's what people don't mean no harm.
Right.
It just be kind of based off what they had. And like when I was deciding to get out of the army, and I remember, one of the OGs in the neighborhood, the older guy said, "What you finna do, Pooch?" And I was like, "Yeah, I'm finna get ready to get out, come back, I didn't say I was going to school. I just said I'm finna get ready to get out. Don't come around here. Ain't nothing around here.
Right.
All that you're wearing back here, ain't nothing around here. Don't come. And I'm not coming back here.
Right.
But it was just so rough because when I went back in the military, retention is everything. There were numbers to make sure people stay in there. And I remember my platoon sergeant. Oh man, ain't no jobs out there. The economy bad. When I met with the sergeant major, same thing. Hey, no jobs out there. Nothing is bad. And I remember even the sergeant major told me, "If you don't want to be in the army, get the hell out of my office."
What?
All right, sergeant major. All right, sergeant major. Locked up. Let me get out of here, right?
Right.
But then I seen shout out to First Sergeant Keelan, my first sergeant. He retired sergeant major. But he said, "You know what? Sergeant Bird, I'm gonna tell you something." He said, "You're such a super soldier. Just like you haven't been successful in the military, you're gonna be successful in the public sector. I wish you the best of luck."
Right.
Shit, I was gone.
Right.
That's all I need. Hey, I was gone. Because I got so much damn hate, and I knew I was that dude.
Right.
Like y'all think I can't do nothing past him.
Right.
And that's a lot of times with parents, we say certain things because of what we feel about something. Shit, my kid, hey.
He feels different.
Hey, he different, and they can do stuff because it's one thing we celebrate their successes. We celebrate their successes, but we so damn scared for them to go out there and fail, and we try to create all this kind of stuff for them, because it's not them. A lot of times it be us, we're doing something. What we got here? Sad publicity. PR says adults get busy, but genuine engagement is key for youth. Guardians don't even have to be familiar with the topic. Just showing interest is helpful. Absolutely. And guys, feel free to call in 678-740-9894. Again, that's 678-740-9894. People, a lot of times, just depending, unintentionally, you can make somebody do something or run their ass out of something that quick. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of times when we go to our parents, or over the years, and I used to say this with my kids, they might have their mind made up. They just may want affirmation from. You know what I'm saying? They just want daddy to just say, "Shit," because even when Chris called him the other day by the major, he knows me.
Right.
I'm gonna ask him a couple questions. I just want to know were you thinking.
Right.
Was
this a process or you just said?
I don't know shit about film production. I don't. Right. PJ's a marketing major. I'm in business, so I kind of got an idea with that.
Right.
Torrance in HR. With that somewhat familiar. I know nothing about film production.
Right.
But I know Chris is smart. I know what he's into and everything like that. But he's like, well, yeah, Dad, this, that, and that. I went to a couple of shows. I want to do this, that, and that. And I can kind of do certain things. He was talking, so he didn't just like, yeah, I want to do this because I think it's cool.
With the process.
Yeah, exactly. No, you thinking, okay, cool. I could have easily went in a different direction with the conversation because I don't know a damn thing about it. But my son, I know he's sharp enough. He done his research and stuff like that. He's thinking about what he need to do. And a lot of times when he called me, he really just called me to get what? Affirmation. He grown.
Right.
Now I'm paying for this stuff. Now don't get me wrong.
Do it.
But exactly. And that's why we got to be very, very mindful of the impact as parents that we have on our kids and stuff. Because again, what we don't want to have is these grown ass babies. And I was talking to a friend of mine, and they were saying, we talk about a lot having, your 25, 30, or 35-year-old child still living at home. And we talk about it before, if they're going through transitions and stuff like that, that's fine, or whatever, college, divorce, sickness, or whatever, moving, whatever, that's different, right? But when we're talking about they still there, like we just taking care of them. And it was brought to my attention, someone said that they was paying their child's rent, grown child rent, because they didn't want to worry about a kid was homeless. I wish I would.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But that's the thing about it, what we talk about, and I'm not knocking nobody again. I'm just speaking for me.
But that's a part of not wanting our children to face the harshness of today's world, of the world, period. We don't want them to face that harshness, but at the same time, we're complaining about having big babies at home. You know what I'm saying? So you have to pick and choose your poison. And we are guilty of that as parents because our mindset is always to protect our children. It's always, regardless of how old they are, they're still our children. And we always want to protect them. But at the same time, we don't want them to get it how we had to get it. We want them to get it how they live. You get what I'm saying? We grew up a little different in the 80s and 90s. It wasn't as bad, but it was still hard. You know what I'm saying? We had a little bit different. We could go outside and play and come home at night and not worry about nobody snatching us because we was those kids. You know what I'm saying? We rode bikes without helmets, stuff like that. And we wasn't. I'm not saying the kids are weak nowadays, but they're a little bit softer than we were back then.
Well, it attributed a lot because of that fear of parents having not let the kids go through things. Savvy Publicity PR says parents are human, and often parents can be driven by fear. Some believe by discouraging, they are protecting from hurt, protecting you from hurt, disappointment, or failure. I agree with that, and I think that when you promote your fears and everything, and guys, feel free to call in 678-740-9894. Again, that's 678-740-9894. I think when you promote those fears and do that discouragement, you got to take the ramification that come along with that. We talked about before. A lot of times parents do stuff because they are afraid. But I always say, your fear of taking care of this, whatever they're going through, got to be greater. You got to be greater, or less than that fear of raising this grown person.
Right.
Because I ain't been in that spot, and I do have a grandbaby, and I had a discussion with a partner of mine, and just talking about in theory about helping your kids out when they're grown, and now they got a grandbaby on the way, and they were kind of contemplating like, damn, like I'm already helping my child. I don't want to be damn like a parent, with this damn grandbaby, doing that. And that shit was like, I can tell this was weighing on this person,
right.
And I'm gonna tell you something, and I never get into what would or wouldn't do. I told you what shaped me with a lot of my views when I went through my divorce, and I'd be like, shit. If it conflicts with Poochie's happiness, we ain't doing it. You know what I'm saying? That ain't make me no cold ass granddad.
Right.
But I do know for a fact people will play on
those emotions.
Yeah, those emotions.
And those feelings for that
yeah, exactly. And I ain't with that shit.
Right.
I damn sure ain't with it.
But
I damn sure ain't with that with the damn child either.
I don't think parents, and Slick says Carlos followed my plan except he got out the Navy too soon. So she's saying that Carlos followed her plan until he got out the Navy. Yeah. Which is, I gotta say, Slick, she raised her pretty good as a single mom. Carlos is a great child. But Now I lost my train of thought on that. Yeah, I think a lot of times our parents.
We gotta start taking some of them dope pills.
I already do.
The hell we doing?
I already do take pills for reminders. Just that when I say his name, it throws me a little bit, and I get off track. But anyway, go ahead. I'll think about that a little bit.
No. When we start talking about worrying about going through stuff, so a lot of times, every parent got the different parenting styles and stuff, and we talked about before have different reasons for discouragement. But again, we got to sit here and think about what are we doing when we had the impact of that big picture wise, right? Is your kid learn to be responsible? They learn to be selfless. Are they learning how to take risks? Are they learn how to be self-sufficient with certain things and stuff like that?
Parents teach that. Because I don't remember I don't remember me being taught that.
Taught what?
Self-sufficient.
Well, but think about it.
A
lot of times, a lot of skills that you have in life weren't necessarily taught, but you were able to go through and facilitate it on your own. And that's how you learn it.
Okay.
So you see, when I keep you in a bubble, you can't learn shit.
Right.
But when I let you just, kind of give you some, some space to develop word of life and experience to teach you. And sometimes, like I said, you don't necessarily have to be taught. You can get game to your kids, right?
Right.
And you can talk to them all the time, but at the end of the day, the experience that they have in life is probably the most important teacher, right? That you understand what I'm saying?
Right.
You'll see how a friend like, hey man, don't trust everybody.
Right.
Don't trust everybody. But then they got a friend that actually turn around and mess with a girl, or he turn and mess with their boyfriend, or they told on them to get themselves out of stuff. That's what mom and daddy meant, right? You see what I'm saying?
I get what you're saying.
It ain't necessarily that we're doing certain stuff. Like, hey man, you ask me to go out there and get a job. You want to eat. You want to buy this kind of stuff. Now again, you done said it. But then okay, cool. I ain't giving you no damn money. Now your ass hungry or whatever. You know what I'm saying? PJ done called me before. Hey son, you need to save your money. This, that, and that. Hey dad, I'm hungry. Hey man, my phone tripping, son. P all on what? But dad, you hear me? No, hey, look here, bro. No, I gave you some money.
Right.
I ain't playing with your ass. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But so to your point being that when you talk that, some stuff you just life gonna teach you.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying? What Dominic says, trying to call in is going to voicemail. You know what? Let the phone ain't on. I'm looking at this blank.
The power went out today.
Shit.
Oh, plug that cord in.
Plug what cord in, man?
Okay. See, just plug it in the back of the phone. Sorry.
Okay.
The power went out today, and I was checking everything.
Which one? The first one? The line to say line?
Yeah. I tried. Yeah.
Call in again, brother.
I'm sorry about that. The power went out here, and I was checking everything, make sure it worked. I unplugged that and forgot to plug it back up.
Yeah, call back in, Dominique. I'm sorry about that. 678-740-9894.
All y'all who called in, all 100 of y'all who called in, call back. We got call in.
Thanks for calling Change Lives. Who am I speaking with?
Hey, this is Dominique right here.
What's up, brother?
Tell me about it, family. Tell me about it. You speaking on a couple of topics that I want to touch on.
Okay, cool.
All right, so the first thing is that you got to realize that we ain't never been parents before. This is our first time. We grew up from how our parents taught us to be.
No man, no.
So I have a whole different concept of, like when my kid get a certain age, because I want, I see how them other folks do it. When it's time for them to move out the house, they get left with 50, 60,000 to go get a house. Mm-hmm. When I came up, I left home at 16. I had to get it out the mud. You know what I'm saying? I'm not really trying to put my child in a place where he got to struggle to get it. I hope to be one of the ones that's like, oh, you want to get a house? Here go $50,000, $60,000 down, like them other people do. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Well, something funny about where you say that. See, I'm on the other side of that aspect. Just like you, I didn't have anything, but I didn't have my kids when they got older. Like, okay, cool, I want to help you out, but then they don't want to listen to some of the shit I'm telling.
Right.
And now you're like, okay, cool. Well, look, man, I can help you get this. I can help you get this. If you want to get the house and stuff like that, do these couple things. Not that I'm holding anything, right, over their head. I got it.
Right.
And there have been some questionable things that probably been done from a purchasing standpoint. Bro, I want to do it that way.
Right.
Especially taking in mind your dad is a financial guy.
Right.
And I'm being straight up and I ain't in front of my kids, but I've been on the other side where I did break my neck to make sure things are in place, you're in a good spot, and they didn't go that pathway.
Right.
You know, she like I got successful businesses. I ain't, with it. I don't want to do that, Daddy. Are they tripping because they want to take my business over, or they want to do their own thing? And so that's one thing that to Dominique's point, I didn't even I didn't necessarily have that whole blueprint from the parent perspective, but then the whole part of trying to build this family empire shit, I had to learn that's my vision.
Right.
That's my vision, and I got. Shit, that's 3 kids in college. One graduated, one finna graduate. Smart kids, and I had to learn the hard way. My vision of this family legacy and their interests. Not that they ain't been told, not that they're not smart, and they're not spoiled either. They actually work.
Right.
But that's my vision and my interest. I had to learn that, and that shit was painful because for me to build certain things in place, got the properties, got the businesses, this, that, and that. Yeah. Ain't interested in that shit. You know what I'm saying? Right. Smart guys. Now, the problem come up with that is, and I'm very honest about this, right? Now I ain't held back. Now, when I'm trying to give it to you, cool. I don't want to hear shit when y'all 35 or whatever, 40 now. Hey, Daddy, what? No. I'm going to be probably on my little island drinking my little coconut juice. Right. You know what I'm saying? Chilling. But that's the thing I had to learn. I mean, like, because I actually got grown kids. TB 30 in November. So my vision, and like I said again, my oldest boy is a mule. He works. He ain't lazy. Right. But he didn't want to, he wanted to do it his way. Right. As unwise as I think that is,
you gotta let him have it.
Because what we ain't gonna do is I keep getting more and more frustrated because I'm trying to give you some damn money. Right. You know what I'm saying? Or leave you something or whatever. And it's a funky spot. And you don't really know that until that happens.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Real talk, because
No, and I agree with you, because you can't take, and it's for anybody, friends, business partners, you can't take my money without taking my advice. Exactly. It comes together. And when it don't come together, that's a lesson. Because you could learn on your own. You want to go out and do it on your own, figure it out, go ahead. But you got to do it your way. If you want to come down the path that I already set for you, this the way to do it. Because who love you more than me? Who want to see you win more than me? You know what I mean?
Absolutely. That's been a conversation we're having. Like I said again, and I think maybe 1 or 2 of my kids may be listening right now, but they know me. Like, if you want to do this is the way we can do it. I can't vouch if you're going to do it another way. I don't know how that's going to work. So I can't vouch or say this. This is what I want to do. If you don't want to do it, I love you. We ain't gonna trip. But like I said again, I don't want to hear no shit 5-10 years from now. Hey, Daddy, this, that, and that, because I'm in a different mode. You know what I'm saying?
Let me ask you and Dominique something. Let's say you set your child up and they did take the path in which you set for them. But once they took that path and they got to a certain point, then they decided, you know what, this ain't for me. And they let it all go. They just drop it all.
Well, that's
after you done built it up, you gave it to them, you passed it on, you sitting back on your island, drinking Mai Tais, getting your 10 to 15% back. And then all of a sudden they be like, you know what? I've been doing this for 5 years. It ain't what I want to do.
Well, let me say this for myself. It's just one of the things you don't know till you go through it. It's going to hurt. But it's the same thing. How many people you seen, parents, they do save, they leave insurance money to kids and blow that shit off in the month.
Right.
They leave houses to 5 kids trying to, I don't know how the hell you expect 5 people to
share a house.
Without just even come to a realistic agreement. Sometimes you might say, well, look, my brother, he's one, and everybody on the same page. We cool with that.
Right.
But most of the time, you got folks arguing. This person want to rent it. This person want to sell it. Yeah, this other one to live in there. Don't pay no damn tax.
Right.
All that kind of stuff happens. Because I'm just being transparent with my children. One of my sons is my executive, and he knows how I want everything split.
Right.
And I've already had the conversation with other kids. Hey, listen, what you want? I know who can handle the business.
Right.
I know who can handle the house. I know. Right. And everybody getting this kind of money. So it ain't no problem. Right. It ain't no surprises. Y'all got a problem. We can talk now. Nobody got shit to say. The only person probably is involved with that conversation is William, the youngest.
Right.
Other 3 grown.
Right.
So like I said, again, everybody knows. But you really don't know, just speaking for myself, until you go through it. Because and a lot of people I really believe spend most of their lives trying to get to that point. See, that's why I said I've been there. Like, hey, bro, I got this for you.
Mhm.
This is in place. I built this. If you get into it with your young mind, your education, hell, y'all can take it to a whole new level. But that was my vision. I had learned that shit the hard way, Lab. That's why I said my happiness is
Paramount.
Paramount.
Right.
But I always tell my kids, your well-being is my priority.
Okay.
Daddy gonna make sure you straight. But if anything you're trying to do conflicts with my happiness, I ain't doing shit. Period. And like I said, I had to go through that divorce to figure out, like, hey, find that out, like, hey, man, I'm here killing myself and everybody else. They don't give a shit. They keep it moving.
I'm going on an aspect like Dominique said, he wants to be able to give his children, $50,000. They want to get the house. Okay, here go $50,000. And they get the $50,000. They buy the house, and then 5 years into the house, they like, they hung up on 5 years into the house, they like,
Appreciate you calling in, Dominique.
You ain't.
Did it hang up?
I think he did hang up.
Okay.
Yeah. Or hang up, or he pressed the button back. If he call back, he called back.
Yeah, you call back in, brother.
But yeah, like, and then they like, no, they didn't have the means to keep it.
Well, Leo, I got no problem if you get in the game and it don't work. I'm a big proponent in trying. If you try and it don't work, I ain't tripping on that.
Right.
But or get into it and, hey, daddy, that wasn't the best thing for me or whatever and stuff. You can have a conversation where you say, look, man, you know the amount of effort you put in the son to make it happen and stuff like that. I can do a good job of reading my children with certain stuff. I can say this, just kind of keep it in general. I had a conversation with my kids, like, he said, we'll do. I had a conversation with my kids, like I said, and I'm straight up dating all my kids work. I ain't got a lazy one in there where I got other 4.
Right.
But I can sit there and look like, I know when, just having a conversation, you hear certain words like, I want to get paid, now this, that, and that. But business might not be for you.
Right.
Because we know you in business, you entrepreneur, we harvesting.
It might be
what I'm doing today, I ain't going to get paid the next week or next month for it. But if you want to work and get paid, you might want to go get a job. What we say all the time, you can't want the freedom of an entrepreneur, but want the security of an employee. Shit don't work like that, right?
Exactly.
So you had them conversations. I've always wanted, and I do want to be able to be able to, hey, son, you don't want the down payment on your house, help with a car and stuff like that. But as you find out as they get older, you're like, man, I get him the money, he gonna do this. You know your kid.
Right.
I get him this money, he gonna blow this money out with doing that. You know him. Right. Unfortunately. And you can want
all day
all this for your kid. But you know him.
Right.
And that's not just your kids, that can be for your parents, your siblings. You know them. What you want them to be and what they are two different things, right? And as your kids hit that 19, 20, 24, 25, and they started getting to the hemp, man, we all going to evolve, right? I'm 25, 35, 45, 55, all different persons, because, you're different.
Most definitely.
And you're involved and stuff like that. But the core of certain things, how people going to be, right? You just got to be careful as a parent, in my personal opinion, of trying to change somebody from what they are. You try to develop them
into what you want them to be.
Because
and that can be discouraging.
Yeah,
I mean, you think about your child when they get older, and you study. This like you study pounding your child. You need to do this. You need to do this. You need to do this. Now that may have been something that they wanted to do, but you didn't pound it in them so much. Now they don't want to do it. You get what I'm saying? You have to discourage them by encouraging them. You can do that. You can encourage a child too much to where they just get.
But you know what, lad? That's a real funky spot to be in,
right?
Because what I heard a lot of times. I'm gonna tell you what I heard a lot of times with my oldest son growing up was the touring played SEC football, and we were going to all those track meets and the football camps. What I kept hearing all the time was, "You gonna burn them out? Y'all gonna burn them out?" But what I was, and this is how I follow parenting a lot of times. Same thing I did in business. I talked to the OGs, and I asked people, what you do right, what you do wrong. If you go back in time, do something different, what would you change? Not necessarily I did what they said do, but I try to make stuff applicable to my situation. I say all that to say a lot of times those people were saying that I could burn my son out, but then when my son started getting them scholarship offers,
it was different.
A lot of other stuff. Oh, you did a good job, Poochie. Well, you just saying
I'm
gonna burn myself out. And what it was, a lot of times, we know with success, there's a sacrifice level. People didn't want to do the shit. People didn't want to. A lot of parents don't want to give up their sadness. They want to do all that kind of stuff, attribute to that. Can you burn people out with doing the stuff? I don't think personally the burning out comes when they're not having fun.
Okay.
Now, when there is a thing we talking about that whole discouragement. At the end of the day, you could be real with your kid, son, or daughter. Your ass being lazy, like your effort. Because I'm I'm military. I'm brutally honest.
Right.
Like, well, they your ass didn't train hard enough. You didn't prepare.
Right.
And I think if you can promote that accountability, they don't fall into them routes. I think you had, cause it's hard for me to say don't grill them. I mean, Richard had I know you rough on Serena and Venus.
Right.
And I know Joe was bad on Mikey.
Right.
So it's kind of tough. I just think a lot of times
people argue with the success of it. But my thing is, like, with my children and my ex-wife, the thing was they didn't tell us stuff or about things that they wanted to do because she would get too involved in it. There's a limit to your involvement with what your children are doing.
The fun leave
out when the parents start taking over and start wanting to do other things that they may not have seen, that they might not have been trying to do that. Like my daughter, she was a great singer when she was younger, but once my ex-wife got involved, she's like, I don't want to do that. She wouldn't say she didn't want to do it, but just things that she was doing that was counterintuitive to singing, like smoking cigarettes. You get what I'm saying? The rebellious came out because she's like, this is my thing. Why she so involved?
But check this out. That's just like the Dominique point earlier. She, as a parent, hell, we ain't got no damn blueprint.
Right.
I'm not trying to do bad. I'm trying to do the best of what I know.
Right.
You feel me?
Right.
Of what I know, I'm trying to do the best. And with doing it, and that's a funky spot to be as a parent, because I'm gonna be very honest with you. I thank God for my close friends and stuff like that, man. My dog Pate, man, I would call him and be like, hey, dog, what you think this bounces idea? Just like you were doing the same thing with my nephews. You second guess yourself. So you don't know. And a lot of time, people look at you from the outside, looking in, like when I was hearing them things like you doing too much this, that, and that.
Right.
And I ain't really have a lot of support.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? My ex-wife pretty much, I would say this, we her bump head, but to her credit, she let me raise my boys the way I wanted to.
Right.
She got the hell out the damn way.
Right.
She let me raise my boys. And I always say, we can argue opinions, but we can't argue results.
Right.
So I'm just saying, I give her credit for that. She let me do that. But I'd be lying if I sit here and say that I didn't second guess stuff. You know what I'm saying? I'd be lying if I sit here and saying that I was familiar. We talking about discouraging, that I was familiar with every pathway they did. I will say this too, that I'm a much better father with William, my youngest son, than I was with Torian because of the experience.
Right. Because you experienced
saying stuff like, man, that ain't no big deal.
Right.
Stuff I thought was pressing with T, like, I look, man, that shit ain't no problem.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Especially like,
but that generally happens when you get one or two children. That, like, I have three.
Yeah.
And, my first one, my son. Okay, I don't know anything. I'm young having children. I'm 17, 18. You know what I'm saying? My second was my daughter. So I'm still going to be a little bit different because it's my daughter. You know what I'm saying? It's father's little girl. But when my third would come, he fall down steps. Just little things that happen that I wouldn't necessarily panic about because I knew he was going to be okay, which probably wasn't fair to him.
Yeah. But
it was just, I'm learning. I'm experiencing some things. I've had two children. So now I know a little bit something else. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah. And see, here's the thing about it. I'm never gonna question any kind of parent that's being supportive of their child. I'm never gonna question it. But I do think people have to understand there's a difference between encouragement and discouragement, or trying to be able to, help guide them with certain things, because you can sit here and say, well, look, man, I don't want you doing things, that could probably have a negative impact on them. That might be, say, drugs, partying, or doing certain behaviors and stuff. But you also got to be realistic about, I don't think you need to be, driving trucks. I don't think you need to, going to school, doing that. You just go get you a trade.
What I think a couple of words that we say that really that we don't even think might be discouraging to children is, did you think about that?
Absolutely not.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because we don't think that that's discouraging. We just trying to get, but in a child's mind, a young adult's mind, that you think about that, then they start second guessing it, and then it discourages you from doing it. And all we're just saying is, think about it. If that's what you really want to do, figure this out. But it doesn't necessarily. I'm just saying because when I was younger, and I told my grandmother and grandfather, hey, I'm gonna go to Morehouse to go to college. You know what I'm saying? Because that's what I wanted to do. That was if I didn't want to do anything else, I wanted to go to Morehouse. And all she said was, well, you think about that. You sure? You know what I'm saying? You sure? And I'm like, damn, am I sure? I think I'm pretty sure, but I started getting discouraged. Like she like, no, that's not in line. And I think that's what made me, when I did get to Morehouse, that stayed in the back of my head. And I was like, you know what? I gotta go.
Put hesitation there.
Right, and put hesitation on it because now I'm thinking, is this not Chicago? This not Illinois. You don't know nobody here. Blah, blah, blah. And so now my 6 months in, I'm going back to Chicago to go to college because University of Illinois, because I already said to myself, I got in one hiccup and now I'm having issues. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and again, a lot of stuff be self-conscious. Some of it might be intentional. Maybe something, like I said, speaking fears out loud. It's tough. And I will say with parents, we just gotta be mindful. When our kids are trying to do certain things, take a second or two, try to be familiarize with what they're trying to do. Not someone's opinion. Because you can ask somebody, man, what you know about this?
Right.
And not be familiar. They're gonna always keep in mind, unless they're a subject matter expert, but even still, it can be a fact or it can be opinion or how they feel about something. Try to get familiar with what they're trying to do.
Right.
Because just because you're not familiar with that doesn't necessarily mean that they can't go there and thrive. I always remember the story with Tony Hawk, the skateboarder, when he was, his father's an educated man, and he was, in his early 20s skateboarding, and his buddies were tripping on him because their kids were going to college. So, hey man, why you letting the boy do it? And his dad, he said he always appreciated his father for not discouraging him because he was winning those early tournaments. But then you fast forward 10 years later,
he had a multi-millionaire.
He had a $50 million corporation that he had built off that skateboarding industry. And he said, what if my father didn't support me? Now, again, I ain't saying every parent should sit here and support anything that come out of their kid's mouth. But I do think that we should facilitate an environment where we're listening to see if they even thinking about it, right? Because I can't, like I said earlier, man, I don't know what capability that my kids have. My parents didn't know, like, I'm like, okay, man, he's sharp, but you don't know. You might have, you really might have the next president. You might have the next 4-star general. You don't know what you got, but you do know if you start cutting shit out, you're stopping a lot of that stuff, those aspirations with doing it. And I just think people need to be very mindful of that. We eliminate fears. We eliminate
struggles,
but uninformedness when we educate ourselves about certain things.
Okay.
I think a lot of opinions we have are based off what we don't know or what we don't know based on what we assume, and also negative experiences. Because me and you talk, I say, look, dog, well, this is what happened with me.
Right.
What's up, man? Appreciate you tuning in. I said, man, look, bro, this is what happened with me. Your experience with dealing with dude and son, might be different.
Right.
But this is what happened to me, and this is how it went.
Right.
Again, that might not have been with you, and I'm just telling you the things. I can be straight up with you. What I probably did may not have been the best or whatever, but that was my experience.
Right.
That don't necessarily mean. Now, if I say, look, lab, I might just straight up, man, look, the dude a damn crook.
Right.
But if, a personal thing, man, say somebody mean or this, that might just be how I felt.
Right.
And you stole from.
Right.
You did one thing.
That fact.
Yeah, but
it's gone and you got it.
I'm a big proponent of understanding, like, what's your experience and my experience will be totally different. Because some other things can come in and to play with that. But when we start talking about it, again, the information we've been talking about tonight with are we discouraging our kids too often? One thing I just want to leave parents with, I want to make sure, guys, that, again, you facilitate an actual environment where you can get your kids feel good about thinking, feel good about trying stuff. And I'm not saying, I'm by far not saying get rid of authority.
Right. Let them do anything.
Don't be parenting or whatever. But don't discourage them from thinking or being a certain way because you don't feel that way. right now we have, just current political climate we got right now. We can be entrenched in one ideology of how we want to go about certain things, and our kids can be on certain things. And I don't think it's smart to sit here tell your kids you stupid thinking this way.
Right.
I had people when I was younger, some of my granddaddy friends, boy, you're a Democrat. You black, you're a Democrat. And I know, man, these folks ain't voting.
Right.
They some OGs, and everything like that. I look back at them. I know these folks ain't voting.
Right.
And to be honest with you, probably half of them cats can read or write.
Right.
Good men.
Right.
Solid men. Men.
Work hard, do their thing.
Half of them couldn't even read or write.
Right.
But it's just because of what their experiences.
Right.
Because they were vastly experienced with certain things, certain fields, this, that, and that. But it was a lot of stuff from exposure standpoint they had no clue of. Right. So we have to be very, very careful when we have our viewpoints before we start pushing them with our kids. Definitely,
especially if they're tainted or negative viewpoints.
Yeah,
about certain things. Your child say he want to be an artist. You like, man, and you had a negative experience with artists. You're like, why you want to be an artist? Those. I think about those little words like, why you want to do that? You know what I'm saying? That's a discouraging thing. Like, why you want to do that? You couldn't think of nothing else better?
Well, I've been in rooms where, folks were saying, kids want to rap. Well, hey, you want to rap and you want to do this, that, and that. And kid might be good. Who am I to sit here and say what you can and can't do?
Right.
But what I will say is, I think the conversation need to be, okay, you want to try to do this, but understand that these are the hurdles.
This what you need.
This is what you need.
Right.
And this is what you're going against. And be honest.
Mm-hmm.
Honesty is not punking. Honesty ain't negative. It really shows how you built on how you received it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
If you could take it on the chin and be like, I'm still gonna do it.
Hey, look, bro, they ain't got them 3 chances.
Right.
Now look, the next chance you might get, it might be 6 months from now.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I don't need to hear that. You don't need to get. No, I'm not talking you out of it.
Right.
This is what's going on.
This is the reality.
And that's not necessarily talk out of it, but also prepare you what if this stuff don't work.
Mm-hmm.
I hear all the time. I remember Steve Harvey said he didn't have a plan B. He was just so focused on his plan A. That's easy to say when you sitting on millions of dollars.
Right.
You be a fool to sit here and just be told to focus on some things, because there's a lot of people out here holding their damn pants over their shoestring because they so focused on
plan A.
Yeah, on plan A, and that ain't how life works.
You got to eat. So plan B got to be your eat plan. Plan A could be your dream. Plan C got to be what if the dream fails.
Well, plan A cannot happen.
Mm-hmm.
All shit is not in your control.
Right.
Plant closed.
Right.
New innovation came about.
Mm-hmm.
It had shit to do with you. You did everything you supposed to do.
Right.
Work hard, came in or whatever. But hey, listen, man, another plant came in. A new law changed.
Mm-hmm.
You ain't did nothing wrong.
Right.
Well, your plan ain't gone.
Yeah.
Right.
Right.
I'm just saying, like, people got to be really, really realistic, because we talk about this all the time. On my other show, Mr. Short Dollar, you got a world of technological innovations and advances and stuff like that. You see it in all these businesses, right?
Mm-hmm.
You go back to, what was that, 1902 with the 1901 with the Model T and the Ford assembly line, to where we at now. You got all kind of robots.
Yep.
You really just got humans for quality control.
Right.
That's all you really got.
Checking the boat, make sure it's tight.
Yeah,
watch the windshield as it come out the line.
I wouldn't even assume that you have people building cars at all no more.
Not the sheet metal part, not the main frame, but you got them robots welding that real quick. Popping the lights now.
And so right now, look how many jobs that took away.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Look how many plans, because it was a lot of kids that were aspiring. I'm gonna go work at General Motors like my dad.
I'm gonna retire 30 years there,
and the option ain't even there. Yeah. Right? So those kind of things, man. And everybody's shrinking.
Right.
I mean, you saw your whole advent. We're at the cusp of AI. So you got tons of stuff from that aren't going to be there.
Mm-hmm.
But we got to be smart about it when we start talking to our kids. And the only way you can probably make informed conversation is a conversation with your kid. You got to be somewhat informed.
Mm-hmm.
You got to be informed, and that's the only advice I would give to parents. Before you open your mouth, there's nothing wrong with saying, well, look, I ain't for me.
Right.
That has really worked for me. I ain't finna say I ain't book it up now, but look, son, I ain't really full sure of that. Let me look into it, or tell me a little bit about it,
right.
or tell me what I need to look to find something before I start running my damn mouth.
Right.
because I don't want to be in a certain thing where they telling me they want to do something. This PJ real good about dad. I already know what you're gonna say.
Right.
I already looked it up. Now Junior real quick to say that I already know it.
Right.
But those kind of things I want to know, because if he know I'm not familiar, hey, you can look up this, look up that.
He can make you familiar if he's familiar.
Yeah, and also, it's on me to do my due diligence. Hey, let me call one of my buddies that may be in the industry more familiar with it. We're doing it, but we got to be very, very careful because we love our children, but we do not want to have a negative impact on our children or some shit we don't know or we scared about.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Real talk.
Right. And we may not even know that we are discouraging them or having a negative impact on them, because when we ask these questions, we only asking them, we think we're asking for the benefit of them, for the betterment of them. But a lot of times questions can discourage. I mean, I want us to really think about that. Questions can discourage a child because they when they tell you something, a lot of times they want you to be happy about it.
Man, let me tell you
the
something.
First thing that comes to your mouth, if it's a question, they start questioning themselves about, what they said.
I would say this to you, Lab. I would assume, it's just my assumption,
right?
There are more people right now that are adults. They have a story like what you just said that may not necessarily somebody told them that idea was dumb, but like, you sure about that?
Right.
Or why you want to do that? And that had a negative impact on certain things that they really, really were interested in doing when they were younger.
Right.
I definitely believe that that there are a ton of instances, more instances than you have people being supportive.
Right.
Go do it. Go do this.
Right.
I would assume there are more instances, just like what you said, because those questions cause hesitation or reluctance for people to do stuff. So again, parents, man, we had this conversation really, so we can share ideas and everything. And I know everybody love their children and they want to have an awesome impact on them. So I hope what we talked about tonight did exactly that. It had a good impact on you, and hope you gained something from the conversation with that. Now, listen, if you came in the middle of the show, remember the night show we talked about. Are we discouraging our kids too often? This is Change the Lives, hosted by Deonte Burton. You came in the middle of the show, tail in some of the conversation you wonder what's going on. Go to the YouTube channel, Change the Lives, hosted by Deonte Burton. If you're looking on TikTok, Instagram is the only one you have to Google Change the Lives, Deonte Burton on YouTube. But if you're on TikTok, you can go to my bio, hit the link to there. Facebook, you should have all the information, the detailed information. To go to the YouTube channels, they'll subscribe to the channel, take advantage of all the great information of the shows we've discussed already and stuff. But again, I want to tell you guys from the bottom of my heart, I appreciate everyone that tuned in. Appreciate my man calling in. My man Smiley caught up. Was in back in May of 96, 96 at Fort Lee with, man. Good to talk with you, brother. But everybody tuned in, I appreciate you from the bottom of my heart. Love you all. Be safe and don't fall for the chicken.
It's a fight.
Don't fall. That joker said, "Hey, Trump cold with it, man. Gave y'all some shoes. Blacks love shoes and blacks
Bible. And they love the Lord.
And they love chicken. They love chicken. I think about some chicken and milkshakes. God, dog. Boy, they had MLK lit.